Welcome back to another episode on Road to 10 billion, more precisely weeks 8 and 9. As I said on the previous part, today we discuss about 2 weeks, mostly because not much happened, so there's that. We begin with Monday, continuing from where I left off on the previous part. I had around 7.5 billion silver in terms of progress, and moving on from there, this time I'm only going to discuss about the highlights, skip all of the I did more cooking, more gathering stuff that is pretty much repeatable almost every day. So moving from there, Monday, I started working on the trailer, the one from the contest, so I didn't get to play that much, but when I did, I grinded a little bit Nagas, and since I was fairly bored, I decided I would grind players and not monsters as much, so I switched on the Arsha server and started hunting people, just because I felt like using my ranger in combat for a change, so that was interesting. I got to kill some people, so I can feel proud of myself for playing a ranger. In any case, I sniped a Tet 3 spirit belt, so finally after a lot of attempts to put pre-orders on Tet setups, Tet 3 spirit belts, try basilisk belts and ogre rings, I didn't get a pre-order, but even better, I got the belt as a snipe, so cheaper. So I feel good about that, got some gear improvements. I got a setup drop at Nagas, which for most of you may be normal, but for me it isn't. I can grind Nagas for 10 hours and not get a single setup drop, so yeah, it is something out of the ordinary. I got a crescent ring from the attendance box, which pretty bad luck, I suppose. I could have gotten something better. I sniped a Valk costume, which pretty nice. I was actually thinking for a while to make a wheelchair class and level a Valk to some degree and poke with it when I get bored of my ranger or wizard, so pretty happy about that Valk costume. I started doing dead attempts for my big gloves finally, after over a year of not enhancing anything at all. I finally started attempting myself to get my bags to dead so I can be full dead at least, because I don't think I'm going to be able to snipe dead bags anytime soon, and with the introduction of the melting costumes for cronstones, it's easier to attempt that without actually downgrading my weapon. My armor, and I don't really care about fail stacks, so it's perfectly fine using crons. I changed my crops from sunflowers to special strawberries because I had a decent amount of sunflowers in the bank and I kind of stopped using them in the first place, so I decided why not go back to what I used to farm a long time ago, special strawberries, because as far as I know these actually sell on the marketplace. I poked the K3 and Bandit elites a little bit more, just to get a little bit more money. I wasn't that concerned about experience at this point, just wanted the elites for fun mostly. I did Mudster, the guild boss, because I have no idea, actually I didn't ask why we decided to do Mudster as a guild boss, but it is what it is. Towards the end of week number 8, this one, the first one for this episode, again I did puturums, that's what we always do on Sunday, and apparently my party managed to get a crescent ring drop because it's sold through the special deals. It is eventful because up until now I never got a crescent ring at all from doing these scrolls. My guildies keep getting crescent rings, but I never get any. I just open the rings and I get only shattered rings all over the place. So that was pretty nice. Pretty much leeching from someone else's luck to get a crescent ring drop. And at the end of this first week, we had another Arena of Arsha event in which I joined with my ranger. So I'm just going to show you a couple of fights, just in case you are interested how rangers perform in combat these days. Some of them were interesting as far as I remember, but I'm just going to put the ones where I fight.
god.
Oh. Nice.
Well, that's what LP gets for ruining spots like fucking Nagas.
Oh my god.
That's what you get, LP. Telling people that scroll drop rate is good on Nagas.
I mean, Nagas is kinda dead, so that's it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why. I made a video about it.
Oof. Oh, that's a ranger, what the fuck?
That's true.
I thought it was against
What a rare breed. What?
Is it Kama too?
Let him go
Yeah,
for
it's coming.
wizard, you know?
Just
In
plus up the
2008?
You can use every buff, by the way, just so you know.
I'm trying to V, I can't.
I don't know. This fucking grab and then just spam and go around. For whatever reason, it's just annoying. I guess I'm doing the same thing with my violation.
Come on, Johnny, step up your game.
Yeah. I'm really not used to fighting rangers.
Should be pretty easy. easily seeable. I think they just have a lot of frontals, right? Get behind them.
The whisper for invite.
Yeah, I
they have
know,
a
I know.
burn
I
as
can
well.
invite you after the match. The match has to be over.
Okay.
You're up
Yeah,
against
that
the
was a
wizard,
mute,
by the way.
I couldn't.
Yikes.
For this next week, I am a little bit disappointed in myself because I don't have a lot of video footage. It's just simply going to be a slideshow of a lot of screenshots because I noticed only towards the end of the week that I forgot to turn back on shadow play. So I was just simply pressing the button for no reason. Nothing was actually recording, so I apologize for that. It's just going to be screenshots. Monday I started by grinding Nagas on my ranger for about an hour, a little bit over an hour. I did some processing. I lost a narc earring snipe from the marketplace, more like pre-order snipe. A guildie was planning to sell a try narc earring and I placed a pre-order on that and I lost the pre-order to someone else for 1000 silver. I placed 2.11111 billion for that narc earring, and someone else decided to put some 2s instead of 1s at the end of that pre-order and got my earring for 1000 extra silver. Pretty sad, pretty funny in the same time, but yeah, it was interesting. I did my noder for Monday. I have no idea what happened in that noder because no video footage. Apparently Tuesday doesn't exist. I just simply jumped to Wednesday when I continued grinding Nagas a little bit more. This was of course after the maintenance, and Thursday again I grinded a little bit more Nagas and pretty much ended this form of test that I was trying to do. If I remember correctly, I was retesting Nagas to combine it with the previous Nagas test and make some form of video out of that. It didn't happen. In any case, it was about 2 hours and 51 minutes in total. You can round it up to 3 hours. You can see what I got on the screen, the loot table. It is roughly 16 millions per hour in terms of income. So not much changed from my previous tests. Nagas is still pretty bad. This was after the Khafra Stones patch, so I was interested to see what is the drop rate at Nagas because this area drops a lot of black stones, so I was hoping it also drops a lot of Khafra stones, which it doesn't. Again I poked the elites a little bit more, not even an hour this time, 44 minutes. I moved on back to Hydeal. Apparently I did some night vendor rolls, out of which I only have screenshots with something. I did night vendor apparently on my alts, but I have no idea what I made out of that. I opened another value pack. I was again 2 weeks later, so opened another value pack to empty my banks of whatever was not supposed to belong there, stuff such as blackstones, scrolls, stuff that I don't need. And I switched back to my Valk to grind a little bit more on Nagas. Again, I had sniped that Valk costume and I was just trying to get my Valk up to hopefully 58, but I didn't make it to 58. I turned in some more crates. From what I can see, I made 457 million silver out of this turn-in process. Usually I try to move crates if I have enough stacks during that 1 day of value pack, so that's what I did here, but I'm not sure exactly what crates I turned in. I believe there are some screenshots later which show what numbers of crates I sold, but yeah. Experience gems, apparently I broke my experience gems. This one I remember because I'm quite sad about. So I went with my Valk to do a guild quest on Crescents, and when the guild quest was over I asked someone there to kill me. I flagged in PK, I poked him, I died, and apparently both of my experience gems from my helmet broke because I died in PK. Not sure how that works, but that's how it happened. I made sure I didn't die to monsters and yet my gems broke. Maybe it was supposed to happen that way, I don't know. Quite sad about it. I got to replace the gems with other ones, but the ones that I had were 50 HP gems plus the experience. So yeah, on my Valk I grinded more Nagas until I got to level 57, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to move the Valk to a different spot now that it is 57, and then I moved the rest of the crates, which were the ones that I made in Grana. At this point I was moving my production in Old Wisdom 3, so when my setup wasn't finished and I didn't have the +3 production workers in Old Wisdom 3, I was making slowly the crates in Grana, even though, you know, it wasn't as efficient for how I want to spend the CP. In any case, now the crates are made in Old Wisdom 3 and I had to move whatever little Media and Calfian crates I had made in Grana to make the money. I believe that's where most of that 457 million income came from the Media and Calfian crates. My tamer is trying to remember apparently what I did this week. I did my best to remember the important stuff, typed it in the chat if you are interested. We have a second death attempt fail, which was made by melting a wizard costume which I sniped, and I used those crons from that sniped costume to attempt death bags again. It failed. I have no video of it apparently. My guild payout was 120 million silver. I keep mentioning it because it is income that gets counted on those 10 billion silver, but it comes from the guild. I'm not grinding it or anything. This week I didn't get to do any sea monster hunting, so it's just from whatever node wars we either won or lost and guild quests. Towards the end of the week I did some gyfin grind on my ranger, only 1 hour, so not much. I was trying to see what is the difference between my ranger and my wizard, and apparently rangers have little to no chance to land back attacks, so I feel quite bad about that because I always had this feeling that I'm bringing down my party in terms of clearing speed. So I'm not sure how rangers do damage on gyfins, but back attacks don't seem to exist that much. I got to snipe a wizard costume, not a wizard, a witch costume this time, which turned into a third bag attempt to make it dead. It failed again, sadly no footage, probably, I believe. And that is everything that happened. This is the end of week number 9. As I said, not really that eventful. I had a little bit of grind at gyfins, I got my Valk to 57, sniped a couple of costumes. In total I spent about 333 millions just buying the costumes and either using them, or I mean 2 of them I used, 1 of them went on Valk. Also spent 130 millions buying the Valk weapons. Anyway, for the end of week progression, again, just going to throw the number out there. In the storage, apparently I have almost 5 billion silver, adding up all of the expenses, again on the costumes, the Valk weapons, and from the previous episodes, they keep counting up. I have 4 billion in expenses, 9 billion in the storage, which means the progression is at 9 billion silver, 8.3 if I count out what I started the series with. So definitely getting quite close to the end, the 10 billion goal, which probably within 1 or 2 episodes will happen. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, maybe learned something from it, I hope so. I will see you guys in the next part. Until then, stay happy, keep playing Black Desert, and leave a comment with whatever you want. Bye!